What's up, everybody? Big Will, K-Pop for Life, coming at you with episode 1 of my brand new podcast series where I basically just do my K-Pop rants, except I talk a lot longer and I don't cut out as much stuff to narrow it down to 10 minutes. Because I've noticed a lot of people watch my videos at home while they're working or cleaning, or at work while they're at their desk, or while they're driving to or from work. Because I do the same thing, and I like a longer video, so I don't have to fumble around with my phone. So here we go. So welcome to the first episode of K-Pop for Life Podcast Rants. So, I've been noticing something that I wanted to sort of just talk about, and I wanted to sort of break down, hash out with you guys in more of a long form context. And I'm curious about your thoughts on this. So as you could tell from the thumbnail, it's going to be more about like not so much the decline of K-pop, but where is K-pop heading? And some of the reasons that I personally think K-pop needs to change or alter or course correct before it sort of steers itself into an iceberg and sinks to the bottom and Jack dies, even though there was plenty of fucking room on that door. Stupid ass. So I've noticed a lot of people in my comment sections. I've noticed a lot of people in other comment sections, a lot of people in, videos of music videos, other reactors, et cetera, that they say the same thing, and they've been saying it, and there's more people saying it as time goes on, that K-pop in 2017 sucks. K-pop in 2018 is just awful. Everything sucks. There's like one or two good songs, this and that. And I'm sort of exploring in my mind what the reasons are for this. Why are people saying this? Because I've caught myself saying it sometimes, but I tend to be more introspective. So I looked at why I'm saying it, and am I just being a pessimistic dick because I can do that? Am I just being a jerk because I'm in a bad mood because I do that too? Because when I look at it, 2018 has been far better than 2017, in my opinion, for overall music when I go back, because not every song can be a banger. Not every song can be amazing. Not every new debut or new group or new comeback is going to be any good. But I would say, if 20% of them are good, that's a pretty good number, right? Because that's a pretty solid number in my opinion. 20% that are just like, I have to download this, I have to have it. I'm gonna listen to it when I work out. I'm gonna listen to it when I drive. It's gonna be my shit by the end of the year. I still love it. There's there's other decent songs that are just like, oh, man, I'll listen to it for a week and get tired of it. But there's those songs that come out and fucking grab you, and they stay, and you make like a top 10 in your head, or in my case, I'd make one on the channel. There's those. And then there's always the shitty ones. And it's always subjective because everybody's different. So, sometimes it's just fun to talk about and bullshit over, but really it's all subjective. So when I looked at it, it was like, well, I don't think 2018 has been as bad as 2017. I think 2017 to me was a low point in K-pop overall. 2018 has been on the upward tick, but there's still a lot of things that go on in the K-pop world, in certain things and certain trends and certain, crazes, certain opportunities that aren't capitalized on, that just annoy the shit out of me. Please, I know I'm not the only person that said this. This is no longer an unpopular opinion. This is a pretty standard opinion. Stop the fucking tropical house. Stop the Caribbean, whatever the fuck. Stop this new trend of everybody doing Spanish sounding stuff because you're trying to clearly pander to a huge audience in like Brazil and South America. Just make K-pop music. Don't pander all the time. Now, some of it's fine, right? Mamamoo drops Egotistic. Cool. The song before that was Icarus for a video game. Totally Korean sounding, innocent concept shit you've never seen Mamamoo do before. And, when it's once in a while, when it's like a one-off and they're just popping in there and then popping out doing something different, that's fine. But when like a record label or a group It's just like let's use Card for an example. Hey, tropical house. Oh, more tropical house. Hey, let's put some tropical house and we'll make that let's put that in there. Card's music has got increasingly more predictable, increasingly more boring, and increasingly less successful, because that's the way it works. People, you already know what's gonna happen. I mean, why would you waste your time watching something when it's or listening to something when it sounds exactly the same as the other 4 songs before it? And there's a lot of that goes on. I'm not saying I want tropical house done entirely, because sometimes it works. Like G-Idol's La Ta Ta, it was excellent there, but then they didn't continue doing that at all. G-Idol, the rest of their album didn't really sound like that at all. And if you haven't heard the rest of their album, you need to listen to it. But then they dropped Alone, and Alone was like, whoa, this is like a fucking second gen K-pop song. This song is a total throwback to a second gen sound with like a modern twist on it. And that's what I personally want, because that sounds like K-pop. That's the K-pop I came to love and know, 5-6 years ago, when it's like, this is so unique. It's got something about it. It's got some depth, some meat to it, but it doesn't sound like everything else I ever fucking heard on a Western radio. I literally, we just did a reaction. Me and Big Paul actually just did a K-pop versus the world reaction video that I haven't posted yet. But we did K-pop versus pop. And I had no fucking clue who 90% of them were. And every single one of them, rap, hip hop, or other, sounded identical. I miss the good old days when second gen K-pop was fearless, and they were like, you know what? We're going to do a 50s doo-wop. Fuck you. And then the next time we're going to do a sexy concept. And maybe after that, we'll just, we'll be on a boat splashing around. They did whatever they wanted. It was great. Even the guys were fearless. You had you would never see a group like MBLAQ, right? Doing like Shishy Girl, shh, I don't remember what the hell the name of the song is called, but did those kind of like catwalk videos, and they're all so afraid to step outside this like safety box, this will be a hit sound. And the ones that do, if they do it right, they blow up, right? They blow the fuck up. So I think that another thing that K-pop record labels and stuff, certain ones have done right, is that they've stayed true to who they are. And that then satisfies that long-standing fan base. Because what I think a lot of producers don't really understand, and they don't seem to have a grasp on, I think it's more of a cultural difference, is that people in the West, and I can only really speak for America, but people in the West and in America, North America, they tend to be very fickle, and they tend to have a more consumerist mindset and a bandwagony mindset when it comes especially to pop culture stuff. Whatever's hot and in, people flock to, right? Because it's just what we do. Most of us, I don't, but most of us, whatever's hot and in, it's like, oh yeah, everybody's doing it, so I have to too. And then everybody gets bored and moves on to something else. I don't think you really get that mentality to the same extreme in Korea that you do here, because in Korea, man, a lot of them that I talk to, they're like, you're multi-fandom? That's what the fuck? You can't, it's always international fans that are perceived as multi-fandom. Whereas the Korean fan is never, I'm not saying never, but let's say more often single fandom. And there's this fucking hardcore, right? They stay, I only listen to this group. I like this group. I'm generalizing. I know it's not everybody, but that's sort of the gist that I get. I could be wrong, but I'm not in Korea, not yet, not till May next year when I visit. But like a true fucking Korea boo. But yeah, so I think that certain groups, I don't know if it's just because the producers are aware that they will never, what they have will not appeal to an international audience, or they have no interest in appealing to an international audience. Whatever it is, you have to admire a group of people or someone that knows what they're good at and does it, right? No matter what it is, within reason. Don't be weird. But A-Pink will never, I love A-Pink. They're my favorite K-pop group, period. It will never appeal to a large international fan base. It will just not happen. Blackpink absolutely appeals to an international fan base. What's the difference? Style, sound, stuff like that, but just overall feel is more geared towards a Western ear. Whereas A-Pink, what they do, it either has to grow on you, or you have to have a certain mentality and be like kind of odd from the West to really appreciate that kind of music, like I am myself. So another issue that I have with K-pop revolves more around the fans, kind of. Let's just say it revolves around record labels and producers who take so seriously what crazy ass minority fans, and when I say minority, I'm not talking about race or anything like that. I'm talking about like they represent the minority of the entire fan base, but they just happen to be the loudest idiots. And, the netizens and all that shit. They listen to these people like what they fucking have to say is absolute solid gold truth. And they will pander to them. Like, for example, Hyuna and Edon got busted for they're dating. They've been screwing for 2 years. So they're having sex and they're doing their thing. And, a Western audience immediately doesn't care. And the Korean audience, it seems to be split, but the fan base of Pentagon turned 500 tickets back in and said they weren't going to come to the concert because what? Because you think that Edon's going to sleep with you and date you? No. Are you Hyuna? No. So he ain't going to date you. That's just the way it is. But they listen to these crazy teenage fans, which is basically what it is a lot of the times. And they pull Edon from promotions. And they do everything they can to basically reinforce this fucking awful behavior. And that's the part that I hate. The fact that these fans feel this way, they can feel whatever the fuck way they want. I don't care. I come from a free country. Whether you're in one or not watching this is not relevant to my discussion here. But to me, you can do whatever the hell. If you don't like it, if you like it, say it, do it, voice your opinion. But I'm saying that I don't think the record labels should cater to this shit because they don't represent the majority of fans, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, and the more you cater and feed the fucking trolls, the more they're going to come at you more next time and demand more. And they want more and they need more concessions because they have this sense of power and this sense of authority and ownership that they're going to fucking use, because in their real life, they're fucking wasted of space human beings most of the time. Or they're just, do nothing retards that can't think for themselves and just go with the group think. So then they jump into these fucking piles of morons, freaking out at about whatever. So I wish that the record labels would stop being such pussies and stop catering to dumb fans, childish fans, immature fans that fly off the handle over every little thing. I mean, fuck me. What was the one? Rose's hair from Blackpink. Rose from Black. Sorry, I guess somebody corrected me in the comments. Rose's hair from Black. I'm going to call her Rose. Okay, I like Rose better. Fans were upset that she hadn't had a hairstyle change in long. And I mean, she didn't request one. She didn't seem to care. But immediately, boom, they had stylists come and change your hair. And so it's like there's a fine line between making your fans happy, right? Because with that one, I don't really see that big of a deal with it. But it's like a gateway drug, right? Like it's like they just smoked a little weed. Now let's give them some cocaine. It's a dumb analogy. But because I know so many people that have smoked pot and like they don't do anything else. But whatever, I've never done it. The point was, that one wasn't really a big deal. I just think that pandering and catering to these types of people is never a good thing, and you're only going to create a breeding ground for more bullshit and drama. Can you imagine if they all just started going, no, fuck off. Sorry, not going to happen. Edon's going to be on tour. Rose's hair stays the way it is until she says maybe she wants to change, or just completely ignore them. Don't address it. Don't give them the satisfaction of responding or sounding like you're worried or anything. Maybe you'd lose a little bit of money at first, but what you would do is you'd break this old established sort of precedent, and you would create a new precedent of, we are going to put out product and content, and we will listen to you if you are not a raving psychotic lunatic. If you come at us and you have something to say it in a non-crazy person way, without threats and without a bunch of like, oh, we're gonna fucking block and do all this stuff, and we're gonna go online and start hate mobs. Like, no. Voice your opinion in a respectful way about it, which is what I'm doing right now, by the way, to Korean record labels. Stop catering to these people if you're watching this, because I actually do know, surprisingly, that occasionally people who are higher up will watch my channel for whatever reason. I had the guy who produces and makes, or something to do with the director of music at Jellyfish Entertainment, watched one of my Gugadon videos and liked my Kong Mina shirt, hit me up on Twitter. So sometimes people do, they watch this stuff. And I want you guys to know, if you're watching this, stop catering to them. You might lose. It might cause some problems initially. I'm telling you, reset that precedent and it will go away for the most part, right? There's always going to be crazies, but it needs to be stopped. Oh, and one of the last things, if you're sitting this long through this video, I know you guys are like serious subscribers, or you're interested in subscribing. So please do hit that subscribe button and the bell button. There's going to be a ton more content coming like this. I really like doing these long form videos because it's less editing, and I really just like to talk. I like to get all this shit out, and it's easier to talk long form than it is to cram it into a 10-minute video and have to edit down and everything and ruin points and all that. But I wanted to let you guys know that going forward, if you are a patron subscriber or a patron supporter over at patreon.com/Kpop4life, links in the description below, there's going to be a bunch of content from me and Big Paul. So Big Paul, he seems to be kind of drifting back this way a little bit now that he's got sort of a different job for a little while with different hours. So he wants to film a few more videos, but we're going to be putting those videos up purely for patron supporters. So if you become a patron supporter, you will get to see all those videos if you're a $10 and up tier. So you'll have access to all that stuff. It's freaking hysterical. We've already filmed like 8 videos. And since he's never here anymore, his give a fuck level went to like below 0, right? Like it's frozen Antarctic. And it's pretty funny. But I'll end it there. Thank you guys for watching this episode of K Pharrell Rants Podcast Edition. And I hope your ride to work or at work or whatever the hell you're doing was interesting or made better due to listening to the sultry sounds of my amazing sexual voice. So keep on popping, K-poppers, and remember, it's not a trend. It's a lifestyle. Deuces.